Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, Sloka 66, Part 32. Sarva-dharmān parityajya, mām ekaṁ śaraṇaṁ vraja, ahaṁ sarva-pāpebhyo, mokṣayiṣyāmi śucaḥ. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. In the previous session, we learnt about sarva-nishtha, how one must face the unpleasurable events that's caused by others. As we mentioned earlier, the characteristics of behaviors of a Sharanagata, which shows that he has developed the proper state of mind that's required for a Sharanagata. They are grouped into three: sarva-nishtha, upaya-nishtha, purushartha-nishtha. Sarva-nishtha is what we covered in the previous session. Now we will learn about upaya-nishtha. A person who is Sharanagata, a surrendered soul, is completely convinced that he is not subservient to anyone other than Krishna. Being servant of multiple devatas is not a characteristic of a surrendered soul. If one wants to perform Sharanagati, he must be completely convinced that Krishna is the only Savior. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything else, including the devatas, starting from Brahma, everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. They all are subservient of Krishna. Therefore, a Sharanagata does not become a subservient of anyone else other than Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Another characteristic of a Sharanagata is that he is well prepared to welcome death as and when it comes as an honored guest. He is not shocked, he is not worried, he is not perplexed, he doesn't get into a fearful mode, doesn't start crying. He welcomes the death as if a very special honored guest has arrived at his doors with smiling face, because he is fully convinced that after his death, after departing this body, he would reach to the kingdom of God. Therefore, he is happy to quit this place and reach that abode of the Supreme Lord, to be fully engaged in his service. A Sharanagata does not take or make any other extra attempt to find other means to achieve his goal of attaining the spiritual world, because he is completely convinced, as complete faith, firm faith, that Krishna has already promised, assured to his prayers, and will protect him under all circumstances. Mām ekaṁ śaraṇaṁ vraja, mokṣayiṣyāmi śucaḥ. Since you have prayed to me, you have surrendered to me, I will make sure that you attain me. Do not fear. I will remove all the obstacles in your path to attain me. Ahaṁ sarva-pāpebhyo, mokṣayiṣyāmi śucaḥ. When Krishna is assured, then why do we doubt? Then why do we have to have any contingency plannings to protect ourselves through other means? The fourth important point is one who surrendered is free from all worries, knowing that Krishna would destroy all that is harmful and grant all that is beneficial for his spiritual upliftment. When we say Krishna will grant everything, Krishna grants those things which is not harmful for one's spiritual upliftment. Not necessarily that he is going to fulfill whatever one desires. First of all, a devotee would not desire anything which is not favorable in Krishna consciousness. But just to be clear, Krishna grants all that is beneficial for one's spiritual upliftment. These are the 4 upaya-nishta. Number 1, one is completely convinced that he is not going to be a subservient to anyone else other than Krishna. Like we saw in the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I am your dog, you are my master. Even if you chase me away, I will be back to your door, lying down for your mercy. Number 2, being prepared to welcome death, because death means leaving this place and attaining the other place, quitting this material world and attaining the spiritual world. Therefore, one must be happy. We see many students leave their hometown, home country, and travel many miles away to come for education to another country. They know, and the parents know, that this is going to be a great benefit for their son. And the student also is very happily leaving their country and going to another country. Why? Because they know they have a higher goal in their life. By going to this place, they feel that they are going to get something better than what they had before. Likewise, death. For one who has performed śaraṇagati, spiritual world is guaranteed in this very lifetime. They know this very well. Therefore, they happily welcome the death and quit the body to return back to Krishna. Number 3, he does not take up any other means to achieve that goal of attaining Krishna's lotus feet. Why? Because he has complete firm faith in Krishna's words. Krishna has promised, I will take you back to my abode because you are a surrendered soul. And the 4th characteristic is that he is completely free of any worries because he knows Krishna is right there with him. And whatever Krishna does is just for one's own spiritual upliftment. Krishna will destroy all that is harmful for one's spiritual progress and grant all those things which are beneficial in one's spiritual upliftment. These 4 are the upaya-nishta. The last group of characteristics are said to be purushartha-nishta. This one serves one to measure their progress in spiritual life towards Krishna. The Sharanagata, being completely immersed in his dedication to the Lord through various means, through devotional services, he no more seeks physical or material comforts nor nourishment, because he has a conviction that everything happens as per the will of Krishna. His duty is simply to dedicate himself in the service of the Lord and immersed in Lord's thoughts. The rest he leave it to the will of God. Secondly, if any physical or material comforts comes on his way through dharmic ways, not through adharmic ways, he does not keep them away because he knows these are ways by which he can get rid of his punya karmas. But at the same time, he doesn't get influenced by these physical or material comforts. He accepts them but be detached. Punya karmas are as bad as papa karmas. Papa karma gives us bad results. Punya karma gives us good result. Both of them binds us into this world. One has to get rid of both punya and papa karmas if one have to return back to Krishna. Therefore, at times, a devotee may get some physical or material comforts due to his past punya karmas. A devotee accepts them but does not start enjoying them. If he doesn't accept them, then his punya karmas are going to continue. If the punya karmas going to continue, then he won't be able to return back to God. In that mindset, he accepts. He doesn't keep them away. Number 3, his view on both joy and sorrow are alike. He treats them equally because he knows that both pleasure and pain visit him as ordained by the Lord. Number 4, he feels intensity of devotion like that of a supreme bhakti, parama bhakti, when he cannot any further delay in achieving the Lord's lotus feet, communion with the Lord. So the 4 things of Purushartha Nishta are: number 1, being immersed in his meditation, in his service to the Lord. No more thinking about his own physical or material comforts. Number 2, if any physical or material comforts comes on his way, he accepts it just to get rid of his punya karmas. Nothing more than that. Number 3, he views both joy and sorrow alike. Number 4, having a feel of intense devotion towards the Lord, where he couldn't wait any further to see the Lord eye to eye, to be engaged in Lord's service eternally. That covers the 3 groups of characteristic of a surrendering soul. Swarupa Nishta, one who doesn't feel hurt when others insults him. He feels compassionate towards others who are insulting him. He feels thankful to those who insulted him. He doesn't carry any grudge against those who insulted him. He feels happy that his sins are getting removed by such insulters. Upayanishta, he is convinced that he is not subservient to anyone else other than Krishna. He is prepared to welcome death. He does not take recourse to any other means to achieve his goal of attaining Krishna. He is free from all worries. And the last group of characteristics is Purushartha Nishta, being immersed in Krishna's service. Doesn't worry about his physical or material comforts or nourishment. If any physical or material comforts comes on his way, he simply accepts it as a service and to get rid of his punya karma. He views both joy and sorrow alike. He feels intensity of devotion where he cannot wait any further to attain the Lord's lotus feet. After one surrenders, until the time of death, one must follow certain things very carefully. A Sharanagata, a surrendered soul, should never slacken his attention to perform devotional service and his daily sadhanas. He should continue to widen his knowledge by associating with gurus, acharyas, and other qualified devotees. Even if he has achieved an higher stage of devotion towards Lord, he should not feel proud about it. He must feel that he is insignificant. A Sharanagata should keep his sense organs under perfect control. He should continue to do service to the deities, Archa Vigraha. He should consciously avoid all desire for worldly pleasures and carry on his daily routine with the wealth earned through proper means as devotional service. He should always feel grateful to the grace of Guru who initiated him into the process of surrendering. He should always chant the mantra as advised by his guru. He should never boast about his own greatness. He should very carefully avoid any aparadh, offenses, insulting or disrespecting the Bhagavatas and Acharyas, devotees and gurus. He should always be eager to perform service to the Lord, service to the devotees and service to gurus. He should eat only food that is offered to Krishna, and that food should be in sattva guna. If we analyze more, we will come to a clear understanding that what pleases the Lord is service to his devotees. Therefore, Bhagavata Seva is considered to be an important aspect of our service to the Lord. The devotees are God's favorite children. Service done to them will please the Lord, just like a parent being pleased with one who pets his child. Therefore, in Vaishnava community, we call ourselves as servants. When we compose a letter, email, we sign off saying your servant or your humble servant, your unworthy servant, your aspiring servant. The concept is that by saying so, we are letting the other person know that I am at your feet. We are getting trained in services while we are in this world. This service period, which acts as a probationary period for us, so that we could taste the pleasure of service to God. Also, serving the devotees saves us in many ways. It keeps us away from the propensity to commit sinful acts. It saves us from entertaining doubts in the authority of the Shastras. It saves us from being attached to petty deities, the Devatas. It also saves us from imagining pleasures as resulting out of our own effort, that is, thinking I am the doer, and claiming the fruits of one's effort for one's own pleasure, instead of dedicating them to the Lord. To summarize, one should not indulge in worldly pleasures and decide for them. One should always remember and be grateful towards one's gurus. One should not utter words of self-praise. One should always chant the names of the Lord, the mantra given by the Guru. One should very carefully avoid any offenses to the devotees and gurus. One should always be engaged in service to deities and devotees. One should carefully avoid worshipping any other devatas. The two very important principles in Sharanagati is to be very careful not to offend any devotees. And the second one is devotion to any other deities other than Krishna. If one commits either one of these mistakes, one's Sharanagati will not fructify. What we have discussed so far in couple of sessions would be a good checklist for ourselves to validate how much we are surrendered to Krishna. One may say all these are fine, but one of the characteristics that was mentioned is to be prepared to welcome death. And when it actually comes at our door, honor as a guest. How can this be possible when death puts an end of our life? Let's learn about death in our next session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.